The situations were invaluable for Shedeur, for all of our offense. We got a 3rd and 1 where he had a quarterback sneak. I mean, there's just a lot of football, and that's by design with him getting a ton of reps in this game, and he'll get a ton of reps next week as well. That's all part of our development of our young players.
And more specifically, Kevin Stefanski. Now, you guys know I actually kind of like Stefanski. I mean, 2 playoff appearances with the Browns. Just say that out loud. All right? 2 playoff appearances with the Browns. Supposed to be a bit of a quarterback guru. That's how he's known. It's no secret if he got fired today, he'd get hired somewhere as an offensive coordinator real fast. Not in this hiring cycle, but certainly next year, immediately, as soon as we got done with this season. It's too late now, but somebody to hire him real fast.
Do you think Shedeur might get a little bit of a bump and see some of those first reps with your starting offense in Philly?
Yeah, I'm not. We need to get through the next couple of days from an injury standpoint, Mary Kay, and see where everybody is. I'm really focused on all of our quarterbacks' development and every single one of these reps, like they are last night, how important they are. So that's what I'm focused on more than anything, Mary Kay.
Hey, you couldn't even get in.
I appreciate it.
How you gonna hate from outside the media room? You can't get in. Tony, I be hoping you be. Tony, I be hoping you got something positive to say about me. You always say negative stuff about me, and I'm like, I ain't do nothing to you. No. I ain't seen nothing positive that you ever said. I do something positive every day. Come on, Tony. What I do to you, Tony?
He's got the fewest reps in camp, and he's got a sore arm. Why? Well, people say he throws a lot before practice and after practice. Well, how counterproductive is that?
I'm sure there's a method to the madness.
What is it?
He's trying to get his arm right, Tone. I'm sure he's probably practiced more now than he has at any point in his collegiate
obviously
career.
It was counterproductive because he's got a sore arm.
Okay, so you're using that as a negative against the kid?
I don't understand.
Jesus, God, would you give him a chance?
Well,
my God, because his
thing.
arm's sore? Yeah. What, that's a negative, that the kid's got a sore arm?
Yes!
Because he's working too hard? The hell out.
Working against who?
Get out of here. You got an agenda with that. You're going to, you know what, Tone? That's going to bite you in the ass.
Look, Browns fans are heated right now. And it's not because the team lost or because of some ref call. Nah, this is all about what just went down after Shedeur Sanders' breakout performance. The kid went out there and put on a show. He looked confident, calm, and was slicing up a defense that was supposed to make him look like a rookie. You'd think his head coach would come to the post-game presser glowing with pride, ready to hype up his young quarterback. Nope. Kevin Stefanski walks in, gets asked about Shedeur, and gives this dry, by-the-book answer about development reps and part of the process. No real excitement, no energy. Just a flat little speech that could have been about any guy fighting for a spot on the practice squad. And trust me, Browns fans noticed. It's all over social media right now. People are screen recording the press conference, slowing down his body language, zooming in on his face, adding captions like, "Bro looked mad, the kid played well." You've got fans saying Stefanski acted like Shedeur threw 2 interceptions instead of balling out. The talk in the fan community is that this goes deeper than just one boring press conference. A lot of folks believe Stefanski never wanted Shedeur in the first place. The rumor, and it's been floating around since draft day, is that team owner Jimmy Haslam pushed for Shedeur while Stefanski and GM Andrew Berry had already picked Dillon Gabriel earlier in the draft. So when Sanders got picked too, it wasn't really the coach's decision. And now, fans think his lack of enthusiasm is proof he's still not on board. An eyewitness who was in the room during the press conference told it like this. The question was about Shedeur, but the way Stefanski answered made it sound like they were asking about the backup long snapper. No spark, no excitement, just moving on like nothing special happened. Browns fans are not the type to sit quietly when they think the coach is messing up, and they're coming for Stefanski hard. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all flooded with Fire Stefanski posts. And it's not just random trolls either. Season ticket holders, fan page admins, even some local sports influencers are calling him out. One fan posted, "If you can't hype up your young QB after that game, you don't deserve to coach him." Another said, We've been starving for a real quarterback for decades. Now we might finally have one, and this coach wants to act like he's just another guy? Nah. Some are even drawing comparisons to Caitlin Clark's situation in the WNBA. A young star who's bringing in new fans, selling merch, and generating national buzz. They're saying Sanders has the same type of magnetism for the Browns, and the franchise should be riding that wave instead of letting the head coach pour cold water on it. Local business owners near the stadium are even weighing in. A group of them put out a joint statement saying the team needs to recognize the player who's revitalizing our fan base. They didn't outright say, fire the coach, but let's be real, that's what they're hinting at. Even former Browns players are jumping into the conversation. One ex-linebacker told a Cleveland sports radio host, "When a rookie lights it up, you don't play it down, you fuel it." Stefanski's acting like he's scared of a little hype. That's not leadership. The crazy part, Sanders hasn't said a word about it publicly, but insiders are saying he definitely noticed. People close to him claim he's keeping his focus on playing well. But yeah, he clocked the lack of enthusiasm. And for a young player trying to carve his place in the league, your head coach's support goes a long way. So now the fans are in full-on protect mode. They see Sanders as their future, their shot at ending the Browns' quarterback curse. And Stefanski, they see him as the guy who might screw it up. It's a bad look, and unless the coach changes his tone fast, this isn't going away. The fallout from this whole thing is getting wilder by the hour. What started as some grumbling online is now turning into a full-blown Browns fan movement. We're talking organized Facebook groups, hashtags trending in Cleveland, and even talk of a rally for Shedeur outside the team's training facility. Fans are literally making signs that say things like, back the kid or step aside and Shedeur is the future. And it's not just the hardcore crowd. Even casual fans who normally just watch the games and keep it moving are chiming in. People are saying this is the most excited they've been about a Browns quarterback in years, and they're stunned that the head coach is basically acting like it's no big deal. Local sports radio hosts are having a field day. Every caller seems to have the same complaint. Stefanski doesn't sound like a guy who believes in his rookie QB. One caller said, "This wasn't some garbage time performance. This was against real starters, and Shedeur looked ready. You've got to hype that up." Another said, "This man's out here talking like we're discussing who's going to start at left guard, not the most promising quarterback we've had in forever." City officials, who normally stay far away from team drama, are even paying attention. They know that a hot young player like Sanders brings more than just wins. He boosts the local economy. Bars fill up, merch sales spike, and ticket demand goes through the roof. You cool that hype too soon, and it's not just the scoreboard that takes a hit. Inside the team, word is it's a mixed bag. Some coaches defend Stefanski, saying he doesn't want to feed the hype machine and would rather keep Sanders grounded. But others are quietly admitting they were surprised by how flat he was in the presser. One staffer reportedly said, "Even if you're trying to keep him humble, there's a way to do it without looking like you're annoyed he played well." Now, here's where it gets interesting. The conspiracy theories are rolling in. A chunk of fans think Stefanski is purposely keeping Shedeur in the background to justify sticking with Joe Flacco, or maybe even giving Dylan Gabriel a bigger shot. They think the coach wants to control the narrative so no one can say he lost the locker room to the rookie. An eyewitness from practice earlier this week described a moment that had people talking. Shedeur nailed a perfect deep ball during drills. Stefanski walked over, said a few words, and walked away. No smile, no fist bump, just business. The kid nodded, but you could tell he wanted more than just a quick comment. For Sanders, this is shaping up to be one of those defining rookie year storylines. If he keeps producing and winning over the locker room without his coach hyping him, it's going to make Stefanski look even more out of touch with the fan base. And if there's one thing Browns fans are tired of, it's coaches who can't connect with them or their players. Veteran supporters are already bringing up cautionary tales, teams that had a young star and botched it by mishandling the early years. Nobody in Cleveland wants to see that happen again. And the way they see it, Stefanski is either going to get on board with Sanders or get left behind. The pressure is real now. If the Browns start stacking wins and Shedeur is at the center of it, Stefanski's muted attitude will be a footnote. But if the team struggles and the coach keeps playing it safe with his comments, this trust storyline is going to blow up even more. One fan outside the stadium summed up what a lot of people are thinking. "This city's been starving for a quarterback we can believe in. We finally get one, and our coach is acting like he's scared to say it out loud. That's not how you build a winner." The ball is in Stefanski's court now. He can either start showing that he's fully behind Shedeur Sanders, or he can keep playing the poker-faced routine and watch the fans turn even more against him. Because one thing's for sure, the people of Cleveland have picked their side, and right now, it's not his.